Good morning and welcome to my shop. Today I'm going to build a TV stand, version 2.0. More on that later. Let's face it, it's never a good time for the TV to die. Mine was going that way, and considering that we bought this way back when there was such a thing called Circuit City, it was pretty old. HDMI was new technology back then. Yeah, 53-inch old TV. But it served us well. Rather than tossing it, because there's a minor bit of pixelation in it, my wife and I decided to move this downstairs into her shop. I don't know what you call it, her crafting area. It is. I got a brand new 85-inch TV. Yeah, that's the same TV we watch. That's the same TV I use on my PlayStation, and let me tell you, gaming has not been the same. It's like going into a theater and playing the game on a big screen. Rhymes with goat. Design for this table is completely in my head. I sketched a few things out a few months ago, but for the most part, it's just me thinking about the project as I'm doing it. Now, I don't recommend this to everybody, but if you've got a vision in your head, go for it. Here, I'm just making some final adjustments and cutting the top and the bottom pieces. Here I flip the board over to maintain at least one factory edge. This second piece of plywood, I will have plenty of material to cut all 4 vertical members plus the 3 horizontal shelves. I'm cutting these long strips for the feet for added stability and to raise it up off the ground, maybe an inch, just in case something rolls underneath it. The design is all in my head. I have a tendency to overthink what I'm doing. So a lot of times you'll see me measure 3-4 times before I make a single cut. That's the reason. If I had something more akin to a plan, I would probably have more confidence. But here I'm just winging it, so I don't know. Enjoy the ride. I mark the center of each foot and then lay out the corresponding marks on the plywood so that when I turn it over, each vertical member will have a foot directly underneath it for maximum stability. I don't really have a process right now, so I'm just working myself through it, seeing what makes sense to me, what doesn't. So I lay this one board beside each foot and line everything up just to make sure that it's going to be straight. I really like this next tip. It's where you take a straw and cut it at an angle and run it along the seam to collect any squeezed out glue. It might be overkill for the bottom, but it's a good habit to get into. I've already put in the order for the TV, and it will be here in the next few days. So I don't really have the luxury of doing this entire project with joinery. So pocket screws are going to cut down on that time, and they're going to be incredibly strong. I haven't used this pocket hole jig in quite a while, so I'm going to re-familiarize myself with it by making a few mock-ups and testing to make sure that it's right in my head. I really don't think that I will need more than 3 screws per section for stability and strength. So here I'm just laying out the marks, top and bottom, and according to orientation. You'll see me from time to time wearing gloves. Mostly I don't wear gloves as I think it's a safety issue, but from time to time my hands get so chapped and so split I really don't have a choice. And can you imagine if woodworking were actually this fast? I'm really proud of how this turned out. The split screen was something new that I had learned, and working with 2 cameras, the GoPro on my head and the phone on a stationary stand, it was very difficult to get all the shots to line up. So yeah, I'm really happy with the way it turned out. had so many problems trying to get these two shots to line up that I eventually just said, okay, I'm going to let it ride. You'll get a different view on the left hand and a different view on the right hand, but you'll still get continuity. Here I'm cutting the 3 horizontal members of the shelving. I'm doing the same thing here on the horizontal shelving as I did on each vertical component, which is, I don't think I'll need more than 3 screws per side for stability. So I'm just laying out my lines so that when I go to use the pocket hole jig, everything just lines up and it should be pretty painless. I've cut 4 spacers on the chop saw that will help me to align and secure the 2 outside shelves pretty quickly. I made a few big mistakes on this project. Not with the design, not with the building of it, its construction. No. It was filming and editing that got me. Okay, let me take a second to point out my mistake. If you'll note in the previous frame, the previous segment, there was no trim at all on the TV stand. Somewhere along the way, I lost the footage for this. I've looked all over, I cannot find it, so in lieu of showing this, I'm going to have to explain it to you. Adding the trim is not quite as technical as you might think. For my process, I had a board of walnut just lying around, and so I cut it just proud of 3/4 of an inch into strips. The remaining part was just dialing it in. So for each vertical, each horizontal component, I probably cut those 4, maybe 5 times a piece just to get that perfect fit. So there's no real mystery about it. You just have to take the time to do it. Remember how you filmed it so you don't lose the footage, like I did. Most of my projects are solid wood builds, so I try to stay away from the stains and just highlight the natural qualities that the wood has shown me. But here, this is sheet goods. It is red oak, so I don't really have any heartburn in staining this. Also, I'm trying to match my existing furniture, so I think this will help it blend just a little bit. So try not to give me too much grief about using stain in this application. You can see I'm using a water-based polyurethane for the finish, as I think it needs to be a bit more durable. Because I want a durable finish on this, I've decided to go with polyurethane. And I want to use a water-based just because it cures so much faster than oil-based, and I'm able to finish this entire thing in one day. So that's the major advantage. The disadvantage is it takes a lot more coats than oil-based. There you go. Just in time for the TV too. All in all, I've got to say I'm really happy with the way this project turned out. I love the way the walnut picks up on the tones in the floor and with the furniture. So I'm really happy. On time, on target, on budget, just the way I like it. Thank you for watching, and catch me again on Joke Crafted.